So, hello and welcome to 20 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started Playing The Last of Us Part 2. It's a brand new game. It's very different from the first game, even if some things are the same. But in the end, since I have played through the entire game, I'm done with it. You see, I had a marathon. I started the first second the game was released. Then I played for 28 hours straight. I slept for 3 hours and then I pushed to get done. You might be thinking now, hey, isn't this game supposed to last like 25 to 28 hours? Yeah, it can. If you just take the easy route and just kind of follow the story, then it can be done quicker. But if you do a bit more free roaming like I did, since this is something you can do in this game, and since I enjoyed watching a certain person die a few times while I was in control, I died a few extra times just because it made me happy. But you don't need to do that, because you're gonna get 20 tips from me how to make this game easier and better. So, as you can see here, I have started a fresh game, New Game Plus. So, here comes the things. Tip number 1. Learn to use the L1 button to dodge from the start. Like this. And when you're moving at the same time, it will make you dodge. Trust me, it will save you from dying many times. Tip number 2. Use the R1 button to quickly change from your current weapon to the other weapon, because suddenly you run out of ammunition, and instead of trying to find a weapon through using the flat steering button, you can just press R1 and you can shoot some more. Tip number 3. Have your paper available early, because you will cry. I'm a grown man and I cried. I was sad because this is The Last of Us, and this game hits you in the heart like a truck. Not so many times as in the first game, but it still does, because we care about these characters. Because when you're done, you have kind of played 5 seasons of like Game of Thrones, for example. It's almost, that's like 50 episodes, so it's 5 seasons. You care. Tip number 4. Use your weapons more. so the game gets less grindy. Don't just stealth kill. Try to use the weapon that your current enemies use. That's important, because you meet a lot of different enemies during this game, and certain enemies have a bit more shotguns, some have more rifles, some have more pistols, so try to find out what they use so that you can actually pick up the ammo and shoot more. Because stealth killing all the time, like I did a lot, makes the game it becomes a little bit boring sometimes, so I regret that I didn't shoot more. Tip number 5, use the prone ability good from this start, so you hide better. It's quite simple. You just press yourself down like this. There's grass, there's bushes, there's leaves, there's all kind of stuff. Use it right, place yourself in the right way, and you can shoot stuff with the silencer on them, and then you just move away a little bit into a different grass or something like that, and your enemies will have big problems finding you. Tip number 6, use that goddamn ammo. No point to end the game with full of everything when it comes to bullets and bombs and stuff, because I was full of everything, and well, that was kind of pointless. Tip number 7, use your bomb mines, or is it a mine? It's kind of a combo. Smart if you're in a house with many enemies, where you are kind of vulnerable from many sides. What I did then is that I placed them out so that I could focus towards one or two directions, and if someone tried to sneak upon me, then they would get blown up, and I would know that, okay, time to look there. Tip number 8, use flasks and bricks in buildings with many enemies. Like in offices, you have these short office walls, for example. Makes it hard to see where the enemies actually are. So what I did is that I threw a flask as far away as I could, and then I took them out, because they come running, from range with my rifle, because I put a scope on it really early. As you can see here, the scope is already on, so you can just sit there and snipe them. Tip number 9, try to gather enemies so you can Molotov them quickly. If there is several, well, I'm trying to keep this a bit spoiler free, but there are more kind of enemies in this game than it is in the other ones. So try to gather them. Throw 1 or 2 or 3 flasks if you have them available, so that they gather up, and then throw 1 or 2 Molotovs to fry them. It will make it a lot easier. Tip number 10. Search all the extra buildings for parts. Don't just make it and take the fast route all the time. I know that if I had done this the fastest way I could, I wouldn't have half the stuff I picked up. For example, the cards that Ellie likes to collect, you're not gonna find them if you don't do some free roaming. Free roaming. Tip number 11. Make sure you open all the safes. And basically you have to solve some mini puzzles when you do. You have either picked up a piece of paper that gives you a clue. There can be pictures, there can be a note in a nearby store or something like that. But don't leave a safe before you have opened it, because it will have a very important things in it. I'm not going to tell you what, but trust me, you need it. Tip number 12. Get the dogs. And this is important. Get the dogs with either your bow or your pistol with silencer, because it will make the game a lot easier, because those damn dogs, they are a menace to the society. Sometimes they jump you, and even how much you press that square button, they will kill you anyways. So if I saw a dog, I killed it as quick as I can, and it's not a funny thing to do, because I love dogs, but not in this game. Tip number 13. Get a good overview of the room you fight with many enemies in, so you know where to run. And trust me, this is important, because if you end up in a room with 6, 7, 8, 9 enemies, if you're just gonna panic and run around like crazy, you're gonna end up dying. So get a bit of control, so you can place out some bombs and stuff like that. Try to throw some Molotovs or stun bombs, so you can just stab them down really quick. Tip number 14. Remember to be careful with your flashlight. It's easy to forget that you have it on, and human enemies, well, they can see your flashlight, and it practically makes you a target. Tip number 16. Do your best at both parts of the game, else you won't get finished. I'm not gonna spoil more than that, even if that's a tiny spoiler, but it is kind of 2 games in one, and well, you have to do your best so that you can see what happens in the end. Tip number 16. Use your flash bombs so you can kill many enemies fast. And trust me, this is effective. I did not upgrade mine to smoke. I just kept them as they were, And if you throw on in and you run in, they just stand there and you can just finish them off like that. Tip number 17, use your medkit so you have full life, as the medkits can be found in many places and you never leave a medkit behind. Even if you have just lost tiny, like a half a square, use a medkit so you can pick it up, because the more life you have, the better, because you lose it fast. Tip number 18, put your points in what suit your playstyle. And with that, I mean the pills. Don't just do something because you have watched some YouTuber or, yeah. Read through the different stuff you can get points in. You'll find some manuals which will give you more and more options, and just find out how you want to play and make sure you put the points in it. Okay, tip number 19, upgrade for more damage. Several of the guns just don't do enough damage the way they are. So upgrading some of them to kick some more ass, that's something I recommend, because then most weapons will kill in 1 or 2 shots. And a little extra tip here, I would suggest that you upgrade most of the weapons that you get first, because when you are going then with a new game plus, your favorite weapons will already be strong, while the lesser favorized weapons, well, you can throw the pills in them at your second go. And that was 19 tips, but it says 20, and tip number 20, it's basically, I hope that you can press a like on this video if you found my tips useful. I also hope that you can subscribe to the channel, and I hope that you can share my videos or this video on social media. I'm trying to create a gaming community, not so that I can become famous, not so that I will earn a lot of money. I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is I miss having a sort of community like I had in World of Warcraft for 16 years or so. So I hope that a lot of people will subscribe and keep coming back, so that when I play, I will see the same names, so that we can talk to each other. We will also have once a week, there will be possible to call in to the show. Either we are going to do it through Skype, if you are not afraid to show yourself, or we will do it through Discord. So we can talk about whatever you want. If you're angry at some gaming company, or if there's a certain game you want me to play, or yeah, basically whatever. We are trying to create a gaming community channel. This channel is by gamers for gamers. I also have a partner, and we will also have now and then we will have a kind of a little vlog where we do some talking together and talk about stuff, games we will advise people to play and stuff like that, because there are unicorns out there that many people don't buy, but because they think maybe the game is bad or something like that. And well, we would like to give our opinions on games, and not like today's reviews and Metacritics are, because I am starting to believe that they have put money in the pockets, because there's too many games that are getting 10s and 9s and 8s and stuff like that don't deserve more than 3. So, yeah. Like that goddamn video, folks, and there will be more videos like this all the time, and there will also be solutions videos to tricky things, because I have a lot of games that I have fixed and found things that many others haven't found out. So I wish you good luck with your playthrough. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed how nice it looked. But take your time with it. Don't do like I did. I drank 50 cups of coffee, and I don't like coffee, to keep myself awake. Just play it at your pace and have fun. That's basically it. Now I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna start playing and continuing the start here of my new game plus, and this time I'm going to enjoy it in a really relaxed pace. So have a good day, a good night, a good evening, a good weekend, a good holiday, or whatever it is when you are going to play this. See you in the next video.